Hello guildies and welcome back to another episode of Noob or Not, my ongoing video series that helps me analyze whether or not what I'm doing is noobish or not. I'd appreciate any feedback you have for me. By all means, anytime you see me doing something noob, leave a comment below to let me know. Now, on Reinhardt, I'm usually pretty happy about him, but there's a lot of things, a lot of characters I should say, that I'm not too great at. And I've realized recently that there's a lot of maps that I'm not as comfortable on as I thought I was. For example, some assault maps, let's use Ilios. I really like a lot of the maps in Ilios. I really like the map with the well. I like the well. I also like the lighthouse, I believe is the one. And the ones I don't like are the construction yard one. I guess there's like ruins. I think it might be called ruins actually. And there's one on Nepal I don't kind of like. Well, there's a Nepal that I do like and a Nepal I don't like. The Nepal where you go outside and you're fighting over the space, that's not so bad. But the one where you're inside, I really don't like that one. And over time it's kind of dawned on me that I like the ones that have a lot of cover on the point, so you can kind of get up to the point and then make a move on it if you need to, or kind of get behind that cover or fight off point with cover. But those long open lines, like the indoor one at Nepal comes to mind specifically. It has that little room off to the side that you can drop down into the main platform, and then all that open space that I, as Lucio, like to knock people into. On the screen in front of you, you see me with Reinhardt. We happen to be an aggressive team right now. We ran into a group of players that will say that they're not as efficient as moving forward as some others are, but I like hanging out here on the high ground. I like Eichenwalde. This whole map, I really do like the appeal for it. When I'm defending, I almost always pick Reinhardt just to kind of stay in character, pretend it's my keep. So I'll hang out here on top of the pass, because there's only this way in. I'm predominantly looking down this hallway because they either come up the main road here or through the tunnel that's down there in that little room off to the side. There's a health pack in there, so that's a good way for them to come in. There's a large health pack in the yellow building that you can see across the street, but it's down some stairs and towards the rear, towards their spawn. So if somebody were to go into that door that's right down there next to the bench, they could work their way down there and pick up a health pack, but it's not really worth it. Unless, they absolutely need it. So as I was saying, this team's not so great. I kind of make a mistake here. I drop down, and then D.Va goes up there, and I was on my way up the stairs, but apparently D.Va dropped down, didn't do anything to my Bastion that was up there. A guildie of mine who's only just started playing. This was a mistake. I thought I was going to get something going with that Reinhardt, but I had gone through the motions and didn't realize he was already down until it was too late. What else don't I like on this map? Or do like, I should say. Coming in here, assaulting on us, the passage off to the left and a little high ground there, not very many people try coming that way, but I've noticed that I, as a sniper, can come that way, or some type of, or as a May even, put some couple icicles into whoever's sitting on top, especially if it's a Bastion, like you saw my guildmate take up that position. I don't consider it a very strong position without the appropriate protection, and that protection would routinely be me in the form of Reinhardt up there, but I'm farting around too much. I'm on voice comms with these guys, so they all know what I'm up to. Take that, Reaper. And they know I'm running around, and I'm letting them know I'll be right back, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I think Bastion actually might have died, but as you can see, we also have a Symmetra, so they got him back up here pretty quickly. I do like hanging out up here because it gives me more options. If I was down below, everybody could reach me. Up here, only a few people can reach me. So I'd rather be up here and defend. If I'm assaulting, I actually would prefer a D.Va myself, and maybe a Winston or a Zarya. Reinhardt's kind of fun, to attack Eichenwalde with, most especially after you start moving the payload. But here at the beginning, I'd prefer a little bit faster on assault type things. Which brings me back to my complaints with myself about being a noob. On some assault maps, I'm very, very good. I feel very comfortable. I know all the approach paths. I know how to defend it, what to look for, and how to play it, especially when I'm on my Lucio. Because as a Lucio, you can be a little bit more situationally aware than if you were a Mercy, because a Mercy kind of just has to keep looking for people to heal, whereas Lucio just kind of heals those around him anyways. You know, if you played him, you know what I'm talking about. And as a primary healer, I don't go chasing after people anymore. Oh, I give this guy the business, and you can't hear it, but I'm asking my buddy, I'm like, Mercy, keep me up, I'm posing, keep me up. So, I like to do that sometimes. It's kind of fun. Especially when somebody's like been giving me a hard time and I'm like, finally. Or, you know, I don't mean anything by it, but I do mean something by it when somebody has teabagged me, which happens from time to time. A Soldier 76 got me once, and I laughed about it. I was like, how uncouth, and then the very next thing I did was come and give him a hammer across the face and give him the pose down. Oh, just like that. Look at this, just beating people up. I think I ended up retreating here because there was only the 2 in there. Yeah. But back to what I was saying. Yes, and there's other characters I'm not very strong with yet, or let's say I can't bounce off of things. So going back to that example I was talking about on the assault maps, where if I'm on one of my preferred tombs, like a Lucio or a Reinhardt or a Diva or what's another one? I kind of like playing as Mei, but I kind of don't. You know, she was kind of OP before. I'm surprised she got a buff anyways. But I'm looking at it from a tank and a healer perspective. I know she's an anti-tank, so you know I understand why. You know, I'm supposed to be frustrated. That ice block, give me a break. If she had like 200 health, I would have expected to be right in the ballpark. But what do I know? I'm just, maybe it's, like I said, full disclosure, coming from a tank perspective, and I know she's a counter tank, so that's what happens. But as I'm playing her, there's times when I get away with things, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. At first, I considered her like a tune that with a lower skill set, but that's just not the case. You put somebody who can really pinpoint accurately put her freeze on somebody, because getting somebody fully frozen takes a certain amount of time, and sometimes gauging when they're frozen or when they missed a tick of the freeze, missed, you know, that's half the battle too. Oh my gosh, I've come to the end of the video. So we got to play the game here. This is Lewis Theron, and you can look for him in a video I put out a couple weeks ago, the top 15 plays of the game of the month. I do believe this one was in it. It is, because I see him taking care of my buddy Spinball twice in a row. I thought that was kind of funny. But friends, I know I didn't really say very much about what was going on during this batch, but basically hold that point as efficiently as you can, stay up on high if you can, and drop down if you need to. If they come into you and trickle into you, take care of them per normal. If you think I was a noob, give me a thumbs down. But if you liked it, then give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, then by all means subscribe for more. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye!